The Combine gets a lot of attention because average Joes sat at home aren't going to watch college game tape of some kid from Wake Forest, but the Combine gives everyone a chance to call out the hidden gem of the draft because someone led their position group in a drill. To scouts and the players, scouting Combine performances are like a closing statement on their college performances, which they are primarily being judged on, but a solid performance can make scouts think twice about your ultimate potential. That's why every year guys like Dontari Poe fly up the ladder after a great performance. Anyway, today I'm looking at the top performers at the NFL Scouting Combine and looking at how their NFL careers went. We start with the crown jewel of overrating, the 40-yard dash. No one drill has more importance assigned to it whilst at the same time producing subpar talent every year. We know the 40 is overrated, but we also know the record holder for the fastest 40-yard dash is the exception that proves the rule. Chris Johnson, CJ2K, the guy with get away from the cop speed, ran a 4.24, the fastest time ever recorded at the Scouting Combine, and he followed it up with a rookie season where he averaged 4.9 yards per carry and a sophomore season where he broke 2,000 yards on 5.6 yards per carry, adding 500 yards receiving. Eventually, Chris Johnson was kicked out of Tennessee, which I never understood. He never rushed for under 1,000 yards and only once averaged under 4 yards per carry, and that year it was 3.9. The 2,000-yard club has 7 members, and one of them is the all-time best at the Combine drill. We are all reminded every year that it means nothing. But here's why. Let's look at who joins Chris Johnson at the top of the 40-yard dash leaderboard since 2006. We've got former Steelers third-round pick Dree Archer, Marquise Goodwin, Jacoby Ford, J.J. Nelson, defensive back DeMarcus Van Dyke, Yamon Figurs, and Darius Haywood-Bay. And surprise, surprise, 3 of the top 8 were drafted by the Raiders in Haywood-Bay, Van Dyke, and Jacoby Ford. Bench press time. Pushing weights away from your chest actually translates very well to playing football, even if there is a 90-degree difference. Stephen Pyre led the pack impressively with 49 reps, the next best being 45. His career, however, hasn't been overly notable, and he currently plays for the Browns. Mitch Petrus is in second place, and his career didn't last more than 3 seasons, but not to be outdone, Jeff Owens, who was drafted in the same year and had 1 less rep, didn't make it past his first season. Then we have Dontari Poe, who's been to multiple Pro Bowls and was named second-team All-Pro in 2013. The bench press leaders are a bunch of nobodies with some notable names mixed in between, like Brandon Williams, Russell Okung, and Linval Joseph. The 2 jumps I find a little bit odd. Vertical I do get, but at the same time it's relevant to your own height. So yeah, Eric Berry has a 43-inch vertical jump, but he's 6 foot, so if he comes up against a guy like Calvin Johnson, who also has a 43-inch vertical jump, but was 6'5", he's going to miss out. But I get it's more about explosiveness, blah 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 blah. Anyway, the top 5 performers give you a good idea of if it's relevant or not. Chris Conley, Donald Washington, Byron Jones, AJ Jefferson, and Dorin Dickerson. Case closed. Now the vertical jump I get. The broad jump just makes no sense. Plenty of players jump vertically every week in the NFL. It's a common occurrence. But how often do you see guys leapfrogging about the place? It's not even the same motion as secure tackling or coming out of a 3-point stance. It's just jumping forward. That said, check out who makes the top 15. Byron Jones holds the Combine record, and by a long way. In second place is Jamie Collins. Julio Jones turns up on the list, and so do Eric Reed and Jalen Ramsey. As it goes, it's one of the better groups out of all the drills, and once again, it is about explosiveness. The 3-cone drill, where irrelevant players go to be immortalized. Wide receiver Jeffrey Mayle is the top performer in the 3-cone drill, and went undrafted, and he followed it up with an NFL career where he caught 9 balls in 3 seasons, then fell out of the league. Buster Screen in second place hasn't done too badly, and neither has Daniel Sorensen, but I will now read out the rest of the names. So we have Jeffrey Mayle, Buster Screen, Scott Long, Dane Zanzibacher, Daniel Sorensen, Terrence Tolliver, Chaiki Brown, Leon Hall, an actually relevant player, Chris Rainey, Cecil Shorts, Will Davis, Damian Copeland, TJ Moe, and Anthony Gonzalez. Finally, the 20-yard shuttle. It's apparently good for corners and 1 wide receiver. Brandon Cooks is second, and Desmond Trufant, Kevin Johnson, and Casey Hayward make the corners look respectable, but this is just like the 3-cone drill. All in all, just don't trust Combine performances, but sometimes do, but don't rely exclusively on them, and don't forget the 40-yard dash is useless unless it's for Chris Johnson or Bo Jackson, who ran an insane unofficial time. And now this video wasn't perfect, I didn't go into as much detail as I would usually like to, but time constraints held me back, and the fact that if I did it by positions rather than just the top performances, it would have just taken me much longer than I had the time to spare, but it also would have been a 4-hour video. I hope you liked it anyway.